It is a great song, and we do have to say the Manchester United fans away from home, and you know this, they're absolutely fantastic. They did not stop singing today, did they?
No, they're incredible. Obviously, they've experienced it for many years, and I think they're the best.
Yeah, they're amazing. First of all, let's talk about Aidan Heaven, because so unfortunate. I mean, how composed did he look?
He looks great. Obviously, we've got a gentleman that knows about being a young man playing at this massive football club, but I think they've unearthed a little gem here, in my opinion. Natural left footer. They're so confident. Look, they're just showing there. They're building up from the back down his side. That's a testimony to him, but he's never phased. Look at this composure. Running out, knows he's under pressure, gets the foul, not worried about it at all. And he's just, again, that natural lefty. Defends as well. As you can see, Daka's not slow by any stretch, but look at this composure. Gets up. There you go. Let's go out and play. No rush, no panic. But I like this as well, Wayne. Just coming out here on his left-hand side. He's looking for something, not what he wants on. So what do you do? Normally you turn back and panic. No, goes past, still positive, driving forward, gets the foul for his team. And this is the best clip out of them all, in my opinion. For any young defender watching or any parent watching, look, he passes the ball, doesn't stand there and admires, gets back, like all defenders should, thinking, what if something goes bad? It happens to go bad in this situation, but look who's there. Great block there, gets up, block again, number 2, but look, no pumping fists, no screaming to the fans, just does his job. And unfortunately, in this situation, clears the ball well, and unfortunately leaves on a stretcher, but we have heard that he's walking out in a boot, which is great to hear. Only his first Premier League start. For me, he's going to have a massive future. Yeah, so comfortable on the ball. And Wayne, you know, any player who pulls on the Manchester United jersey is under pressure, but especially when you're a young player and you know all about that. Yeah,
obviously it's a huge football club, and at this time now, when it's not maybe going right, to come in and play for Manchester United at 18, it's a lot of pressure, because them expectations are on you from the first minute. But I think in the games he's played, I think he's been fantastic. And I come in as 18-year-old at Manchester United, and you do feel that pressure. But to come in as a centre-back, which is obviously a position where you can't afford to make mistakes, otherwise you get punished, is very difficult. And he looks like he's been there for years. So that's the biggest compliment I can give him.
And also with the club under so much scrutiny at the moment as well. So there's that added pressure as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And obviously he's coming from Arsenal as well. So he knows what it's like to be at a big club, being at Arsenal. So I think that will have helped him. But he doesn't look like he's playing with pressure. He looks calm, he's composed, he gives them good balance. Obviously with his left foot, he looks quick. He looks like he likes defending. So I think he's a real coup for Manchester United.
Yeah, and we wish him a speedy recovery, of course. Let's look at the other end of the pitch, and you were really impressed with United's finishing today.
Yeah, I was. I thought the finishing was better today. I think I'm really pleased for Højlund in particular, because again, his movement's been really good over the last few weeks, and he just hasn't had that bit of luck. But I think the defender, of course, Faz can do better, but on his weak foot, he gets it, he's positive, he drives forward, he has a look to see if there's anyone in the box. He takes the option of shooting on his weak foot, and it's a fantastic finish. But I love this, the work rate from Garnacho, from Ugarte. Just in general, I think this is the way Amarim wants his team to play, and they're putting the effort in to get back. And this is as big as scoring a goal. So I really like the work effort from Manchester United today. But again here, Højlund driving forward, gives it to Garnacho, cuts inside. Good finish. Unfortunately, it's just offside, but he goes again, they keep playing. Bruno, again, who was at the heart of everything, gets the ball through to Garnacho, and no thought about finishing. It's a first time, it's a really good finish. So again, for the two of them haven't scored for a long time, really pleased that they've got off the mark today. And then again here, this is fantastic.
Yeah, and then Delap, just obviously, as he pulls there, I just wanted to ask you, Wayne, how hard is it to stand still? Because most people in football run. You see here, Fernandes makes this. It's a great ball for Delap, but because he stands, I've seen you do this many a time. I just wanted to explain to myself and to everybody watching, just how hard is it just to stand there?
Well, obviously, Bruno's scanning, so he sees Dalot obviously run down the right, and then what he's done, he's allowed the Leicester defenders to run back towards the goal, and then he just puts the brakes on, he slows himself right down, gets himself in a whole lot of space. Dalot obviously cuts it back. It's a great cutback. And then Bruno, because he slowed himself down, he can compose himself, and it's a first-time finish, and it's a fantastic finish. But I think with Bruno, I think again, 2 assists today, another goal. He's the heart of everything Manchester United do. Obviously, we're seeing that week in, week out.
Look at
the
this.
stats here.
Well, at this point, I have to say, Troy, we are in the presence of greatness here, aren't we?
Oh, we know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've been fanboying all day, haven't we? Let's call it right. We're in my opinion, this is the greatest English player to ever play, in my opinion, and doesn't get the credit he deserves. But when you see the numbers like that, 93 assists for Man United, legend, and also he was quite a nice bloke as well, and so it helps.
But I think what Bruno's doing here is, obviously, it's well documented the team have not been in the best form over the last few years, but Bruno is the one who's consistent with his performances, his goals, his assists. So I think that's really impressive to get to 50 already, 50 assists.
Also, Wayne, just in his interview, Ruben Amorim said, we want more. Have they got enough to win the Europa League, do you think?
Yeah, I think they have. I think they can take a lot of confidence, obviously, from going through on Thursday and today's win. Now they've got an international break. I'm sure for Ruben Amorim, he'll be hoping everyone comes back fit because they have picked up a few injuries and they have got injuries, but it might be a chance for players who are injured to get back. But they've certainly got enough to win the Europa League.
I just want to talk about Leicester City. First team in top-flight history to lose 7 successive home games without scoring. Troy, this is grim.
It is grim, and I've been in relegation battles, and you look at those games: Wolves, Palace, Fulham, Brentford. You've got to score in those games. They're the games you think, right, we can get something. You can take losing to Man United, Arsenal, and Man City, but to not score 7 losses, it's just they're letting in loads of goals. They're not scoring goals at the minute, whether it's Van Nistelrooy, whether it's the board, whether it's the whole team. But as a club, nothing seems to be going right. So they need to have a real look over these next couple of weeks, what they want to do moving forward, and get that recruitment right in the summer, because that's the biggest thing for me. Their recruitment has been all over the place.
Yep. OK. Thank you, lads.
Now we're starting to see where he likes the ball, how he wants to play, and maybe make him run more and stretch defences, as Owen said.
Yeah, I think if you I think they know his strengths. They just haven't used him enough, because when they have used him, he hasn't finished off what they've sort of put on a plate for him. So sometimes when a player's not quite on it, a centre forward, and the chances aren't coming, then you kind of stop giving him those chances because you try and find somebody else to do it. Now he's got his goal, his confidence will be up. Use him, force him to run in behind. Put it in there, then have a go when he takes responsibility for that player, and that's what happened on that occasion. The second thing is, when the goal goes in, nobody's holding anybody to account. So they all go, oh dear, and that's it. You've got to point fingers. If it really hurts, you've got to point fingers.
I was a bit worried that because of the fact that Garnacho and Højlund were ending barren runs in front of goal, we weren't actually going to mention Bruno Fernandes getting the assist. But fortunately, Bruno did get on the score sheet at the end, so we can heap praise on him. What a week for the Manchester United captain.
He's class. I tell you what a goal, Kelly. Great football. Keep it. What a switch from Casemiro this is. Perfect first touch from Dalot, sets Mavididi, see you later, step over, and Bruno checks your shoulder, look, sits in that little pocket. That is a world-class goal, from front to back, Dion. This switch, this is why you switch, to get a 1v1. And Dalot does an amazing step over. But keep an eye on Bruno, watch him check his shoulder there. I'm going to sit in this little pocket. The way to pass again, Dion.
Yeah,
class.
It's the pass from Dalot. It's on the floor and it's on his right foot. All he's got to do is step onto it. That is a really difficult finish. Across your body, across the keeper, into the side netting. If anybody that in a Man United shirt is going to do it, it's going to be him. The form he's in is incredible.
I also really enjoyed what Rasmus Højlund said about him, where he said sometimes he maybe gets a bit of stick. The stick for Bruno Fernandes has been quite extreme at times, but are we starting to see, or not starting to see, more consistently are we seeing just how important and how good he is for United?
I think the problem is the fact his first season was so amazing, and he produced such ridiculous numbers in terms of goals and assists, and we kind of expected that from him. But I think if you look back over the past few years, he's the only constant. He's the only consistent player. I don't think it's fair that he gets criticism. He's the one that's fit and healthy every game and producing goals and assists virtually every game. So he shouldn't be criticised. The others should for not helping him in such a critical moment. But they're fortunate that he's there, Bruno Fernandes, because he's been brilliant.
Yeah, I know lots of Manchester United fans as well who have said, where would they be without Bruno Fernandes in recent months and years? OK.
Manchester United's mini revival continues with a comfortable win at the King Power Stadium. Rasmus Højlund and Alejandro Garnacho ended their goal droughts before Bruno Fernandes continued his outstanding form with a storming finish. It's a bittersweet victory for United, however. After a highly impressive first-half performance, the teenage defender Aidan Heaven was stretchered off shortly after the break with what looked a very serious injury. Leicester, unsurprisingly, looked bereft of confidence and have set an unwelcome record. They are the first side in English top-flight history to lose 7 consecutive home games without scoring. Even with their prior domestic struggles this season, United were still expected to turn up at the King Power Stadium and dominate an opponent staring relegation in the face. An early save from Andre Onana to deny veteran Foxes skipper Jamie Vardy a side, that was what happened. It took a little while for Ruben Amorim's side to start creating meaningful chances, with Garnacho the first in red to go close when he struck at Mads Hermansen from 20 yards. There was a dangerous ball into the Leicester box from Nasser Mazraoui that was dealt with, before Christian Eriksen wound up striking the crossbar with a stunning effort from the resultant corner. The opening goal from Højlund wasn't far behind. The alert Dane was playing on the shoulder of the high defensive line, played into space in the right channel by Fernandes. Højlund took it in his stride, afforded the space by Leicester to do so, and then fired a clinical effort into the far bottom corner, beyond Hermansen's reach. Leicester did improve towards the end of the first half, but an attempt from Wilfred Ndidi deflected over, and blocked efforts from Patson Daka and Bilal El Khanis were the closest they went. The hosts maintained some of that pressure early in the second half, with a chance for Daka resulting in a collision that saw United defender Aidan Heaven leave the field on a stretcher. But the next significant chance came as Garnacho put the ball in the net, only to be flagged offside. A VAR check confirmed the decision to disallow the goal, but it was marginal at most. Garnacho had the ball in the net again not long after, and that one did count. Fernandes initially tried to play Mazraoui in, but got a second bite of the cherry to knock it into the path of Garnacho, who obliged by sweeping his finish low past Hermansen. The celebration from the earlier strike was repeated, perching himself on the advertising hoardings. A huge chance for Leicester came as the clock ticked into the final 15 minutes, Vardy outfoxing Victor Lindelof on the left and squaring for substitute for Kuno Buonanotte. But, with the goal at the Argentines' mercy, Matthijs de Ligt threw himself in front of the ball with a huge block. Fernandes put the icing on the cake for United in the closing moments. The goal was a product of Amorim's system, with Diogo Dalot in place to take a diagonal pass high on the right flank. He beat a somewhat hapless Steffi Mavridis with a couple of stipovers and fired a cutback to his captain on the edge of the box for a first-time finish. Leicester pushed for a consolation right to the end to avoid becoming the first team in English top-flight history to lose 7 successive home games without scoring. But Onana was equal to a powerful Vardy effort in stoppage time, and the Foxes are indeed tagged with that unwanted record.